Hey guys, in this video we're going to be taking a look at the Hubsan H111D, and this is the FPV 5.8 gigahertz version of the H111C that I reviewed a few days ago on my channel. This has a camera but no FPV transmission. This one comes with a transmitter with a built-in screen and transmits its video through 5.8 gigahertz, which is pretty amazing for this size. So let's get this out of the box and take a look at what we got. Okay, here's everything you get in the box. You get your transmitter and built-in screen. And I can already tell the gimbals are fairly nice for a toy transmitter, so I'm looking forward to that. Get your USB charger, and it's the same one that came with the 111C. You get a spare set of props, and you get your instruction manual. I fully expect this to be just as good as the one that came with the H111C. Take a closer look at this for various sections, especially the FPV part, which is going to be obviously completely different from the 111C. Here's a look at the quad itself. I believe it's the same size as the H111C. We'll bring it up here side by side in a moment. It's got the same design, the same PCB board for the arms. Hopefully that won't break. Now on the H111C, it did have one little crash, no problems, didn't break at all. So it doesn't weigh hardly anything, so it's very unlikely to break unless you really fly it, drop it from high up. Let's see here, it's pretty much same everything, same canopy. And I do notice one thing that's different is this one does not have an SD card slot on the quad. So they obviously have replaced that with the FPV equipment. Looks like the same camera, same motor, same propellers. Let's look at this side by side with the 111C. Looks like it's a little bit narrower. This one looks a little bit narrower than the 111C. And you can see here there's the SD card slot there. And the 111D does not have that. And the 111C looks about the same height, maybe a little bit taller. And from the top they look pretty much the same. The 111D looks a little bit skinnier. And it looks like they have different cameras too. When you look at it from the front, the camera looks a little bit bigger on the 111C versus the 111D. We'll have to see what kind of difference that is. I might have to do something with the transmission of the video signal. From a profile perspective, the arm distance looks the same from the front and also from the side. So I think here we got the 111C is 18 grams and the 111D also 18 grams. So they've managed to swap in. The FPV system for the SD card. Basically, they must have traded that. So it's pretty amazing that they could even get an FPV video transmitter in here. I'm pretty shocked. Sometimes a whole video transmitter will weigh more than 18 grams. So get a whole quad as well and battery. It's pretty amazing. Okay, here's a closer look at the transmitter, and it comes default as mode 2. There is a way to switch this to mode 1. However, it wasn't really clear in the manual how to do that. I think there's a software switch where you can turn it on and switch it, but then you'll have to also flip these gimbals as well. I'll have to open it up, and that wasn't in the manual at all. So for your mode 1 guys, I think this transmitter is on a lot of other D models, like the I think the H107D. So There's probably a lot of videos on how to already change this to mode 1. Anyway, the transmitter is fairly basic, pretty smooth gimbals. You get your trims here, your on-off switch. You get a little lanyard hook here to put your lanyard into. You get your trims on this side as well. This button over here is for video, to start and stop video and take photos. And this button doesn't really seem to do anything, at least according to the manual. On the side here you got a micro SD card slot, and that's to record your video, and you get a mini USB port. Not 100% sure what that's for. And I don't know what these are for. Maybe headphone jacks? The transmitter does take 4 AA batteries, which I already have in here. Okay, power it on. It says system initialized, and it's asking to bind to plane. So after a little while, when it can't bind, it goes into this screen here. Looks like this is your time on, 36 seconds. You're in mode 2. Your battery usage or battery available. Looks like you got your trim indicators here. So if I trim the elevator, it doesn't seem to move. But then when you're centered, it gives you a longer beat. Okay. If you press the video button, it says no video because I don't have a micro SD card in there yet. To bring up the menu, I think you just pressed in the elevator stick. Yep. You can play back your videos that you recorded here. I think you just move the stick to the right to go into that menu. And since I don't have anything recorded, I can't play anything yet, so I'll just exit. Set real time. So you can set your year here. Format your SD card. Set reverse, I think that's for reversing any channels that you want reversed that aren't the way you like. Set sensitivity. So there's normal mode, expert mode. This is obviously this is probably your rates. So normal mode is 55%, expert mode is 100%. And here you can set your 5.8 gigahertz frequency. Okay, so the highest frequency is 5845, and the lowest is 5730, and you have increments of 5 megahertz. So this doesn't correspond to any band like Bosscam or Fat Shark. So you'll probably, if you want to use like some Fat Shark goggles, you'll have to find some Fat Shark frequencies to tune this to, and then it should work with that. So I'm going to give that a try later though. Okay, so let's go ahead and do a bind to the mini quad here. Turn on our transmitter, and it's saying bind to plane. And at that point you're supposed to power on. Oh, okay, I just noticed something different again. This has a little switch instead of a button. On the 111C here, you see a little power on button. For here, you just have a switch. So go ahead and turn this on, and then you hear a beep, and then that means you're bound. Put this down, and I think you have to put it down and on a level surface so that the accelerometer can calibrate. Otherwise, it'll just flash and won't be ready to fly. Looks like it's okay now. And now we have video. So it does look like when you get very close, as you can see here, I'm very close to the 111C. Picture is a little blurry, but as I pull away, it does seem to get into focus. So it looks like the focal range is a little bit further out. But if I look at my, I have a focus chart over there on the wall, that star pattern there. It does look like the camera is pretty well focused, so that little blurry area in the middle there should be as small as possible, and that's an indication of pretty good focus. And the field of view is very narrow. Most of my FPV cameras that have about a 90-degree field of view from where I'm sitting can see that bookcase over there, the edge of the bookcase, all the way over to the other corner over there to the side of the closet, and we're only getting maybe half of that, so we're looking at maybe like a 50-degree, 60-degree field of view on this lens, which is to be expected. If you look at this here, it's a pinhole lens, so that's going to be pretty typical. Yeah, okay, so this looks like it worked pretty well. There's not a whole lot of latency. Let's put this down here. Let's put my finger in front. There's a fair amount of latency actually. So I move my finger away, you can see I would estimate maybe 100 to 200 milliseconds of latency. It's actually pretty significant. See, as I move it away, you can still see the finger in the video on the screen here. Okay guys, going to give this guy a fly. I brought my FPV monitor out here as well as my Fat Shark goggles, and I'm going to show you guys that you can fly this on regular FPV stuff. You just have to know your frequencies, and we'll go ahead and do that. Turn on your transmitter first, and then turn on the little micro quad here. There we go, now we're bound. I think we have to wait for the little flashing to stop for the accelerometer to initialize. And I'm going to go into the menu here and change the channel. Okay, so go long press the right stick to get the menu, and we will go down to 5.8 gigahertz frequencies, and I'm going to select 5800, which is the Fat Shark brand or immersion, and every time you switch channels it automatically switches channels over here, which is kind of nice. You can do it remotely through the transmitter. Unfortunately you can only do it through this transmitter. Okay, save that, exit, and then if I turn on my FPV monitor here, right now on Fat Shark 6, I can then just go through all the channels 2, 3, and 4, and now we have our FPV transmission from the micro quad. So I'm going to try and fly it first through the monitor, and then I'll give it a try through the Fat Shark goggles. Needs a little bit of trimming to the left and back. That looks pretty good. It's pretty sensitive to the wind there. I'm in the garage and a little breeze came through and it just pushed it around. But yeah, I expect this to fly pretty much the same as the 111C. It's pretty much the same. Obviously, with the difference being the 5.8 gigahertz FPV equipment. So let's go ahead and fly it. It's a little windy out there. Let's see how it does. And we got some wind right now. Okay. And look at the monitor now. Monitor. Yeah. The monitor is pretty bright. The field of view is very narrow. May need to go to a little bit larger area than this to fly FPV. Yeah, it's pretty windy right now. Let's take it back in the garage here. There we go. Ooh. High rates. The yaw is still really slow in high rates. Try and fly it around. On the yaws, it does tend to drop in altitude. And it is very affected by the wind. It's getting pushed. There's some swirly winds here in this cul-de-sac, so you get pushed around quite a bit. The angle of the camera is pointing down. It's not that easy to see the ground where you're going. When there's no wind, it seems fine. Uh-oh. A little crash there. Yeah, it's probably not even a 5-mile-an-hour breeze right now, and it has a hard time with the wind. I think I needed to fly this into a little bit larger area, so we're going to try that in the next video. See if it'll do some flips and rolls here. There we go. Battery must be getting low. It won't do any more flips. And yep. So when the battery gets low, it starts flashing, of course, here, and it won't do any more flips. So it means it's time to land. Anyway, I'm pretty amazed that you can even fly FPV with something this small, only 18 grams with the battery and everything. The video is pretty clear, hardly any breakups. It's quite flyable. I'm going to try and fly this in another future video pretty soon here with my Fat Shark goggles in a larger area where I can fly us a little higher without fear of it going into a tree or hitting a house or landing on a roof. So I'm going to do that probably in the next couple of days. So anyway, guys, let me know if you have any questions about this. It's a pretty cool product. I'm still pretty amazed that they can even make something like this that does FPV at 5.8 gigahertz and is fairly flyable. Albeit though, I wouldn't do this in windy conditions like today, where it's kind of going between about 5 miles an hour and gusting to about 15. So we got some Santa Ana winds going on today. So whenever those big gusts kick up, it just gets kicked around. And it's not surprising. It's only 18 grams. It's going to get pushed around by the wind. So I'll try to find a calmer day, maybe early in the morning, and fly us in a park or something, which I think will be better for this. So I'll have a future video, so stay tuned to my channel. Hope you guys liked that video, and I'll talk to you in the next one.